welcome to Thinking Green. I'm Rana, and today is Election Day. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know that. If you have not voted yet, don't stay and watch the show. We'll have it up on YouTube by tomorrow. Get to the polls. And from what I hear, the turnout in many of the cities in Connecticut has been really high. There were lines at Harper School today, all over the place I was hearing about lines.
Yep.
But that said, I'm really glad that this show is moving a little bit away from elections and candidates and talking about things that are more of general interest to the community. And there is an event coming up on Sunday, November 11th, an Armistice Day concert. And my guests tonight, Lorain, Ohio Simister, and Hugh Birdsall have been organizing this event. And you'll find out about it, and then you'll be able to come in person. So welcome,
Yes.
Lorain, and welcome, Hugh.
Hi, Rana. It's nice to be here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 5 years since I've been here.
Wow.
You've been here more often, haven't you?
Have I?
I don't know. You've been here on a couple of times, though, but I don't know
Thanks for
exactly
having
what. It's been a little while. You know, if you decide ever to run for office, then of course you're old.
No.
You'd be welcome.
No.
Oh, I don't know. Clinton is getting pretty active.
Yeah, Clinton's crazy.
So anyway, I guess I wanted to ask each of you, how did you get involved with working with Veterans for Peace groups and some of the Veterans for Peace that might not be formally affiliated with the group in putting on events in New London and in Southeast Connecticut?
Well, you were there first, so I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. I think John Pearson got in touch with me first a couple of years ago. And they were putting on a show at the Hempstead House, maybe. And beautiful Memorial Day, great setting, a tent, a great sound system. Laura Herskovich was also playing that day. And I think maybe 5 people showed up. I think I saw you there.
I might have been there.
But, they were prepared for probably 50 or 100 people, and, 5 people were there, which was kind of a shame.
Maybe.
And then I think we did it last year, and it poured rain that day on Memorial Day, and
Did you
we
do
did
it?
it at the St. Francis House.
Yeah.
That was a better turnout. I
Probably
was at that
15
one.
or 20 people there maybe, which was nice. So it's going up. People are becoming more aware of it, I guess. And it's funny, I was thinking about that today. And the people who are involved in this remind me of that St. Francis poem or prayer. Something about, I'm going to paraphrase it badly, but to love and not be loved. May I love and not be loved. May I understand and not be understood. And that strikes me as such a pure form of action that these guys take. They're out there all the time. They get no recognition. Every once in a while somebody will flash them a peace sign or honk their horn. But it's just real commitment to a wonderful ideal.
And it does make a difference, even if it doesn't seem to, because for about a dozen years we were out there at the monument, and started in maybe early 2000, in 2002 or early 2003, and we at first people were really hostile. Go back to where you came from. Well, I don't know, I live a mile and a half away. I don't think you'd get really, or get a job. And well, I don't have a job now, I'm retired, but at the time I'd be coming at the end of a day, running around, keeping track of 2-year-olds all day. I really didn't feel like I needed another job. And then after we were there every week, just about, for like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, and we were kind of a fixture, we didn't really get the hostility. I'm sure there were some people who still didn't really appreciate us, but I think just kind of hanging in there does make a difference.
Well, look how long Cal did this alone. And all the times he was arrested. And over and over. And Robertson was out there, was out there, and they'd take him in, they'd charge him with what?
Yeah.
Exercising his right as an American citizen. You know, it's, that's why I go. That's why I'm there, is because of Cal.
And he made a difference too, because the whole monument area of New London, even when it was we were there during the time that they were redoing the parade, and they had all these signs up, no, you can't be here because of it's a construction site. And only once during that whole period were we asked to leave it. They were fine with our being there and holding our signs, because we just kind of seemed like we belonged.
Yeah.
So, Cal being there for so long made such a difference in how everyone now who's holding signs up and witnessing is just
Accepted.
a part of the
Yeah.
New London fabric, whether people agree politically or not. And I see them all the time now at the courthouse.
Yeah, they stand on the corner because they're all getting older. And that walk downtown is kind of tough on them, you know?
Now, I didn't realize until I did a little bit of research that this year, November 11th, is actually 100 years
of
since,
the anniversary.
the 100.
Armistice.
So is that why you're doing an Armistice Day thing this year especially?
Well, let me jump back a little
Sure.
bit, because I got involved. I've known the people from St. Francis House for, I guess, oh my God, it's 15. I've been in this area like 15 years. And they were some of the first people I met. And I used to go on the peace walks with them and the candlelight walks in the different streets and stuff. And I knew about the Witnesses for Peace shows, but it was so badly advertised often that I couldn't find them. And then they would have a thing, and it would be, well, it's going to be at the parade, but if it rains, it'll be at St. Francis House. And when John Pearson called me this year and asked if the band would be interested, or this year, it was May. And if the band would be interested, I said yes. And he said, do you know any other bands? And I said, absolutely, but we need to have a stable place inside that we're going to do this, and we'll get more people. And we grabbed the Episcopal Church, and it worked. You know, we wound up getting a lot more people. There were, 50, 60 people there altogether in between all of the sets. And they were like, this really worked. Can you help us some more? And I brought in, I don't know, well, Hugh was there, and then, the couple that does all the peace stuff with the lunch group. I can never, Perret?
Oh, yeah.
Perret?
Oh,
Okay.
Bill and Kay Perry.
Yeah.
Perry, okay. They do it all the time. But then I brought in the Weird Brothers, who are incredibly political. And our
Yes.
band came in and did it. And I asked the Carol Anns, but the Carol Anns themselves were in Ireland, so they sent the rest of the band, and they played as 18 strings, which actually they had people in tears at one point. A couple of the songs were just like, you know, so it's very interesting to watch the thing change. And as we were talking about music, I brought up the fact that I had a friend that works with vets all the time, who has been on television shows and would be a good name to bring in. I can't say the name right now because of contracting, but would be a good name to bring in to make next May's show be a little bigger, because it already jumped, and let's jump it again. And they said, what do we need to do? And I said, well, I had been talking to Brian, Eben, Parker, oh my God, too many names. Anyway, Wolf and Eben Rose. And he said, why don't we do a benefit for the benefit?
Oh.
And he said, and Evan Rose will play. And so I brought this to them. We have these wonderful meetings out in the back behind St. Francis House. And I said, okay. And got everybody in gear, and Robert made posters, my Robert, and brought them that, and they were printing stuff, and they had their little crew out in New London getting things for the raffle table and for food and stuff. So this can raise money to bring a celebrity of sorts in for next year's
Memorial Day
show. So that's how this show happened. And we were trying to find a date, and John called me and said, face palm.
Yeah.
This is the 100th anniversary of the Armistice, Lorain. And I said, wow, let's do it on November 11th. And Bob and I have been connected for years with the hygienic. So we brought it up to Vinny, and Vinny Scarano. Yes, I got to thank him a lot for saying, this is great. And we worked out a perfect deal with the hygienic where, we're getting the money at the door, and they're going to have their concession going, so they're happy with what they're going to get from that. And it's people working together like you're supposed to do.
Well, it's really interesting now. Hugh, you lived in Clinton, but you worked in New London for so many years. And Lorain, you lived in New London, and now you live in Clinton. And it seems like more than ever, we're kind of having consolidated efforts between the shoreline area and New London, which sometimes seems to not have much in common with any of our suburban neighborhoods, surrounding towns, and yet there are these links that are strengthening. It's really kind of exciting.
It all seems to be with music and art too, which is even more exciting. So it's a lot of all of the bands are from the shoreline that are going to be at this show, which is just,
Well, we like having them come to New London, though I don't mind going to the shoreline either.
Yeah, but it's very cool. And they're all so thrilled to be playing at the hygienic. It's like, we get to play at the hygienic? So it's...
So let's talk a little bit about the event on Sunday, and then you were going to play for us somewhat.
Okay.
But let's see, how do I do this?
Use that power.
Return. Got the
live TV.
Is that right? Yes, that is right.
Yes.
Okay, so okay. So this program will be at the hygienic.
At the hygienic on
Now-
Sunday, starts at 3 p.m.
Now, is it really going to run for 5 hours?
Yeah. We've got, the bands are all playing about 40 minutes.
Oh,
we
wow.
have speakers
So it
in the
isn't going to be like 2 songs and then...
No. Everybody's got a full set. We have 4 speakers, maybe 5, in the beginning that are going to talk about Armistice, and there's a poet coming, and I remember John Lamar is coming. John Pearson is going to be there. Cal Robertson is going to read his poem that he has been reading every year, but it's him.
And actually, it's still true.
Yes, it doesn't change. It doesn't change, unfortunately.
So, so you can tell us about the bands. Some of the New London viewers in particular might not be familiar with all of them.
I know. It's not coming up, dear.
It's not coming up. It's still blacking it because...
Oh, okay, well...
Is this a PowerPoint?
Yes,
Yes, it is a
Then you need to put it
PowerPoint.
on slideshow, I think.
Well,
I think
it's worse than that.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, we have some connection issues. Okay.
Well,
We
We do.
Well, we have Harper and Owens, who is Jim Harper and Sarah Owens. They've been playing music together for, it's decades. And they're very quiet about it. They play a lot in the Shoreline, and they very seldom get up to New London because it's so far away. But they're wonderful. They do a lot of covers, but for this particular show, they write all the time together. They're best friends. Jim has a wife, but Sarah is their best friend. And they write songs all the time, so for this show I said, well, you must do your originals. So they're always afraid their originals aren't going to go over like most people that do originals. But
now, is there any particular genre that you're looking for?
Not really, because we've got everything from, well, you're kind of folky that night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that afternoon.
That's right, you kind of switch genres depending on...
He's a chameleon. And then if we jump to John Spignesi band, well, they're pretty much funk and rock, but even their rock is very funky because they have the percussionist and stuff. And we're a jazz band, but we kind of rock a little, and then we're actually going more into avant-garde stuff. We're going to bring out one of our originals that we made up off of a bass line. It's a spoken word, real beat style, lots of music going on and this, story being told while it's going on. And Harper and Owens do everything from Stevie Nicks to opera. And David and Susan Falks are pretty much soft rock and a little bit of the smoother jazz.
And they played just last week at the Pass the Guitar event.
Yeah, so you never know what they're going to bring out because they,
Anyway,
Evan
just
Rose
so
is
viewers
kind of
know, we are supposed to have photos of these people,
and
but for some
wonderful
reason
photos.
there are some technical problems and they're not going out onto the air. We'll try again.
Yeah, we can
we'll-
chit-chat some more.
Yeah. And then Eben Rose,
Evan Rose, a lot of their stuff to me is it's kind of on an Irish edge, but they're also going to do one of the Weird Brothers songs because Brian is also one of the Weird Brothers.
which I had not realized till you sent the picture to yesterday.
Yeah. So they're gonna. I'm not gonna give away what one of their songs they're gonna do, but they're gonna do a really political piece for us. So, yeah, because they're missing. Originally, the Weirds was supposed to play this, but Peter just can't get up here from New Jersey because there's an interesting band. They do everything. Brian and Peter Weird do everything over the internet. They write all their songs over the internet. They do all of their video sharing to make their videos behind them when they play over the internet. And then they get together and they record. Or they get together and they do a gig.
Wow.
So technology at its best.
So both of you have been in bands.
Right.
How would it be to have a band that was kind of a remote band? Has either of you ever tried it or been attracted to that idea? I find it hard to imagine.
Do you mean
If
where
you're-
you don't get together to rehearse?
Yeah, when your bandmates are...
Well, our band is
distant-
kind of like that. Our bass player lives in Middletown,
Oh, that's...
so she never rehearses with us. So I send her MP3s and lyric sheets, and she does her homework, and she shows up, and she knows the stuff. So Arlene, wow, you probably know her.
Yeah, sure.
She's amazing.
She's great.
She is amazing. Yeah.
And she's got a show coming up at the Buttonwood Tree in Middletown on Friday, I think.
Okay, that's a lovely venue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm told we have some pictures, so
Do we?
I've been told. So
Okay.
here are Harper and Owen.
Okay, this is Harper and Owens, and they don't always dress like that. And I was waiting for them. You got your pictures a little late because I was waiting for them to give me the publicity shot. And they never brought it over because they kind of are like that.
Did
Jim
I
is-
send you a publicity shot?
No, I just picked it up.
Oh,
here.
No,
I picked it
you'll
up
see
here.
what she chose.
Yeah,
She
I
got one
I
off
just
of
found good
Facebook.
pictures for everybody, but we did a shoot for a local Clinton clothing store last Sunday. After 26 years, and this says something about politics and the economy. After 26 years, the woman is going under this year because
Wow.
the economy is so stinky. And she's, you know,
Wait a
she
minute,
was
it's
saying that to
booming.
me.
Didn't
Yeah,
you know?
I was
No,
going to
it's
I just
not.
read in the
Small
newspaper.
businesses are
booming.
going out of business.
Yeah, I've
all
noticed
over
that a
the
lot too. A
place.
lot of businesses going out of business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, I don't want to lose the store. It's like my child. It's 26 years in the same place on this small, beautiful little downtown.
Mhm.
And I said, hold on. I put a call out. I got 21 models in 2 days. And we all got together at the store next door to her. She has there's a, oh my goodness, an anime store next to her. And we all got together at the anime store, got into our costumes and stuff, and everybody went outside. I had people from New London and Groton and Stonington, and then everybody else was from Clinton, all coming in there to help Donna not lose her store. So that's where that photograph came from. He doesn't always wear that ridiculous hat, but
But we hope he does for the event.
I'll ask. I have one. I'll loan it to him if he doesn't have one. So that's where that picture came from. But I hated to get political right there, but it's a shame to watch this happen to somebody that's put that much of their life into a store.
Well, I've actually been noticing, all the news about the booming economy, and yet not only are small businesses going under, but like individual people are struggling.
Mhm.
They're worried about losing their houses or their health care.
Yeah,
Or,
it's
Yeah.
booming for somebody, but
yeah.
It's not booming for anybody that's doing all the work to support everybody that's getting all the money.
No,
Yeah.
it's kind of backwards.
Yeah. The Wolves. That's Brian and Rose, and he's the Eben and she's the Rose. And I've not known them that long. I've known Jim and Sarah longer. So a lot of these people are very new to me because I moved to Clinton 3-4 years ago, and I'm getting to know all of the musicians there. But Brian has been in music with his friend Peter since I think it was 1967. They put the Weird Brothers together.
wow.
So, you
Yeah.
know, they've been
That's the
playing
year
music
I graduated from high school. That was a
together
long time ago.
forever.
We had our
and
50 years.
and then Rose has a beautiful voice, and they got married, and they've just had this Eben Rose thing going. And Brian owns a music store in Guilford, and it's upper end, wonderful, beautiful acoustic instruments. You go there. Yes.
I can't afford to go
You
there.
can't, yeah, right. And he comes up with some amazing instruments from other countries. And usually he'll come to one of these shows and bring one of these instruments that I can't remember the name of, but they're really well worth coming to see.
let's see.
John Spignesi Band. John and I are brand new friends. I've known his bass player, and Bob has known his bass player for years. But I know that they're very funky, and they have a really wonderful following, and they're just nice people. And the videos that I've seen, because I've not seen them live myself, this will be my first experience seeing John and the band live. But from the videos I've seen, people just go crazy dancing and talking at them when they're playing and stuff. And I think they're going to be a great closing act. And people should come and maybe, hear a little and then go take a walk in town and go have dinner. You know what I mean? And then come back for the later music. Because I'm sure there'll be enough people there in and out to supply the other artists. But I really want people to see these guys and give them some love. And they go on at 7. So,
Okay. So
yeah.
and yeah.
Because
and-
it
and
is a
you're-
long event.
It is
yeah.
a long event.
Yeah.
So they'll play almost till 8 then, I'm guessing.
They'll play from around 7 till around 8. I'm kind of lenient to the 8:30 mark. Because they do also, I've heard, I haven't seen them, as I said, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them. You know, have people come up, so you never know. I might wind up getting up on stage. Bob might wind up, if you're still there, you might wind up getting up on stage. You know, it's like, it's a good band to end a show with.
Let's see.
David and Susan. Wonderful music. It's like every love song I think that you possibly know they play. And Susan's really good at, they had some, I think it's old Fleetwood Mac that she was singing at one of the shows. I saw them and I was like, oh, it's perfect. And they do some Jobim, some bossa novas and stuff like that. So it's a really good mix. And I'm sure they've been playing together for all the years they've been married. And I booked them they were at a party. And I said, would you be interested in doing this thing? And they were like, yes, you know, let's do it. So, yeah.
Well, one thing that has been amazing for me to see of the musicians in this region is that it seems as though they all like donate so much of their time to causes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because this area is so needy that, you know, it cries out for help, or whether we just have, you know, fantastic people who are just wanting to be part of it and give.
And I think every musician can pretty much say that they've been in a place where they wondered where their next meal was going to come from.
True.
And that's a lot of what I hear when I ask musicians why they're, you know, so gracious about these things. And it's like, well, we've been there. We understand this. You know, we struggled through this. We raised our kids by having 4 jobs and music in order to make sure that we could get food on the table. And once you've been there, you can't turn your back.
Okay, now this is your band.
This is my wacko band. It looks good up there. So it's not as dark as it is on the, it looks good up there. That's the post-traumatic jazz disorder in its newest, and the form I think that we're going to keep for quite a while. From left to right, that's Jay McKay. He's our sax player. Robert Ferracci in the middle, bass player. The gentleman right in front is Justin Paglino. He's our keyboardist. All the way to the right is Joe Glennon. He's our drummer. Then skip back, you can see me back there, and skip back one more, and that's Steve Shelton. He's our guitar player. Steve and Justin were very good friends. I wound up meeting Justin at a youth open mic thing that Bob and I do in Clinton at the Clinton Annex to the town hall, and it's Youth and Family Services runs a youth open mic. And Maria, who runs Youth and Family Services, asked Bob, because he's been in Clinton his whole life. He was born and raised in Clinton, and she knew him through, his son used to go to daycare there. And she said, would you be interested in coming to play at this open mic for the kids? And he said yes, and my partner would be glad to do it too. And one thing led to another. We became the house band because we met Justin the first time we were there, and he came up and he said, I've been playing rock and roll, you know, cover bands for so long. You guys need a piano player? And we had just lost Scott to the theater. And of course I said yes. And that was, I guess, end of May last year. Well, it was mid-May, because we had, before that show, we had 2 rehearsals. Before we did the May thing, we had 2 rehearsals. Yeah. And we've been doing it ever since, and we're writing songs together, and it's like, you know, we're very, very cohesive. It's wonderful to just see that energy build and have a, you know, new group, and everybody's very supportive of each other. So.
And then, last but not least, Hugh, who
This
is
guy.
right here.
Oh, look.
This guy.
Yeah.
I love that photo, because you've got the scarf on, and you look so European. You know, so.
And we don't, well, you can describe Hugh, but Hugh graciously said he would play a few songs
Yes.
here tonight, so maybe you
Would you like to do that now?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you
You
can
ready for that?
do that now.
Sure.
And I guess we'll have to figure out which mic when you come back is, that one's the not good one,
This is the
right?
not good. I'll put it on my lap.
We think that one's a good one, and Lorain and I can.
Now, you don't feel up to singing probably because of your...
I don't, what one are you going to do? You're going to do So Tired?
Ooh.
That one?
we could do that.
Okay.
Let me,
Oh,
maybe I'll do a couple first, and if you want to do that one.
Okay.
that sounds great.
Should I stay here to do that? I can sing quietly.
I'm pretty flexible about this
I
stuff.
know. It's such a laid back show.
So this first one I'm going to do is called Hand in Hand. And it's self-explanatory, I imagine. I'm going off to fight for Uncle Sam. I can't begin to try and understand. They send me out to die in a foreign land, like cattle to the slaughter is what I am. You're the one I love and I'm your man. I hold no one above you, here I stand. We'll walk the streets of heaven hand in hand, hand in hand. The holy wars have come to our front door. We're fighting for the right to ask what for. With bleeding hearts and bodies, nothing more. You'll find us strewn across the desert floor. You're the one I love and I'm your man. I hold no one above you, here I stand. We'll walk the streets of heaven hand in hand, hand in hand. I can hear you calling out my name. You soldier on, still carrying the flame. My spirit longs to be with you again. Until that day I'm singing this refrain. You're the one I love and I'm your man. I hold no one above you, here I stand. We'll walk the streets of heaven hand in hand, hand in hand. You're the one I love and I'm your man. I hold no one above you, you, here I stand. We'll walk the streets of heaven hand in hand, hand in hand. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so maybe I'll give this one a try. These all have something to do with, if indirectly, with veterans and their awarenesses of things. But I've been in a number of people in my life have suffered from depression. And maybe that's what this is about. It's called Just Maybe. It's kind of new. I have never known happiness alone in the world without a song. I have only known emptiness, lost in the ruins of love gone wrong. But you just standing there, you with that wistful stare, can you show me a possibility? Could you and I change reality? I don't think so, but just maybe. I have never had a dream come true. Even my best days are filled with gloom. Every waking hour is the color blue. Sitting by myself in this lonely room, but you just standing there, you with that wistful stare, can you show me a possibility? Could you and I change reality? I don't think so, but just maybe. Sorrow is my closest friend. We live inside my head. Is that all there is until the end? My heart can only dread. And you just standing there, you with that wistful stare, can you show me a possibility? Could you just maybe. Do you want to try that one? Or
I'll try it
Okay.
from here.
yeah, I'm going to get
So I don't-
Lorain to come up here. And,
You want me to stand up with all these wires on me?
If
I
you can manage that,
can.
or do you want to try it from there?
I'll try it from here.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me see if I remember how it goes. It's called Lay Your Burden Down. You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. And I'm so tired, so tired, so tired, so tired. You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. And I'm so tired, so tired, so You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. And I'm so tired, so tired, so tired, You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. You've been walking down a long road. Lay your burden down. Let's keep it going. And I'm so tired, so tired, so tired. I'm gonna stand back up. I'm gonna stand back up. I'm gonna stand back up. Keep walking, 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 gonna stand back up. Keep walking. Something like that.
We have about 7 minutes left. If you want to do one more, you can. I think we got a lot of the details about the event in.
And then we'll go one more time around before we say goodbye.
Yeah, maybe if you want to do one more, and then,
Maybe a quick one.
yeah.
This one's called No Job, No Car, No Money.
Yeah.
I think veterans can identify with that sometimes. Prospects, what you gonna do? No rent to wreck, how you gonna get through? No paycheck, what about the IOUs? Oh, what the heck, I ain't feeling blue. I got food to eat, shoes on my feet, place to sleep, and I got you. I don't regret, at least not yet. I got this guitar.
So now everyone really wants to go to
Yes,
see this
yes,
event,
that's a
having
preview.
heard
That's a
maybe a
preview.
quarter or a third of a set.
Right.
You can get the whole thing plus another 5 bands.
Right. So that's this coming Sunday, November 11th, starts at 3 o'clock at the Hygienic Arts Gallery, and it goes till 8:30. So there's speakers, and then Hugh and David and Susan Falk, Harper and Owens, Eben Rose, the post-traumatic jazz disorder, and then the John Spignesi band. So it's going to be a great day at the Hygienic.
And the idea is to turn the room over like 15 times over
Right.
5 hours and make lots of money.
Of course, and not have more people performing than listening, which was more like what
Hopefully.
happened the very first time.
Yes,
Well,
and hopefully all the bands have been doing their job, putting out their ads to their followers and stuff, and we
And
want to pack the place.
And the cause is so great too, because the idea of reclaiming this day as not just honoring and respecting veterans, which we should do, but has a kind of pro-militaristic bent to it. Kind of reclaiming it as, well, let's end that
Let's
type
be
of
done
Yeah.
with it.
conflict.
I think the
as-
soldier on the ground has more of a sense of the horror of war than, say, the general. And the
I'm
general has a
sure.
better idea than the politician.
No, and yes, and the politicians really don't know, and that's how Veterans for Peace organizations have kind of cropped up all over the place.
Yep.
There's one thing that I'm going to try to do at this show. They actually asked for a song related to World War I. So do you know the movie Paths of Glory by Stanley Kubrick?
Oh yeah.
With Kirk Douglas? And in that movie, there's a woman who gets up on the stage at this bar and sings a song, and it's an old German folk song. And so she's singing this song in German, and all these French soldiers are sitting around, and they're all in tears hearing this old song. And that's the song I'm going to try to sing at this event. And that's a movie set in World War I.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it turned out not to be the war that ended all wars, but that doesn't mean we can't try to move forward.
Harder. Yes.
Well, thank you, Lorain, and thank you,
so much,
Hugh.
Ronna.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Next week, we're sort of back on elections for one show. Luther Weeks comes back every year and analyzes for us how election day went in Connecticut, whether there were problems, whether there weren't problems, and recruits people to observe the post-election audit. That'll be next week, but then we'll keep going on with the community stuff. And we hope to see you all at the Hygienic on Sunday. So thank you both.
Thank you.
November 11th, 3 to 8:30. Yep. Thank you, Ronna. Thank you. Hugh.
Thanks.
Afrika, ningependa mzuri sana.